Side Hustle Show 134, growing a blog to 70,000 visits a month in 1 year.
Welcome to the Side Hustle Show, where aspiring part-time entrepreneurs learn how to turn their side hustle dreams into reality. Because your 9 to 5 may make you a living, but your 5 to 9 makes you alive. And now, your host, Nick Loper.
Hey everybody, Nick Loper here. Welcome to the Side Hustle Show, where it's all about ideas, action, and results. Today's episode is a good one. It's about growing a blog to 70,000 visits a month in 1 year. And more importantly than that, it's about turning that blog into a viable business. My guest is Tyler Zey, Z-E-Y, from EasyAgentPro.com. It's a website focused on marketing for real estate agents. So what you're going to learn in this episode, the content strategies that put Tyler's site on the radar in record time, his first monetization attempt that failed horribly, and how he was eventually able to turn the site into a full-time business by simply listening to what his readers wanted. All the notes, links, highlights, and Tyler's top tips for blogging and freelancing and business customer generation are at sidehustlenation.com/134. Now, here's a fun fact for you. Tyler has a master's degree in clarinet performance. Not exactly something suitable or training for internet, the whole online business world. Not something super entrepreneurial either. But he's actually become one of the leading experts online in real estate marketing, despite having no formal training in this. And I think he told me he's never even bought a house. So this is a fascinating one. Let's dive right in.
We're doing websites and SEO for anyone. Like you listen to shows like yours and everyone's like, start with a service, and that's a great way to start. Mm-hmm. And we started selling websites and SEO, and it was selling to anyone that would listen to us, which really isn't a good way to go passive with anything, because you have to niche down, you have to become the authority in order for people to come to you and be attracted to you. And so one way we did that was we started in July, so once we got to November, we're like, okay, we're sick of this Elance thing. We're sick of finding, random clients around us that will listen to us and sell and buy our products. And really, we're priced very high because when you have that long and tiring sales process, it's really tough then to lower your price, because you have to, the number of clients you can get on a weekly, monthly basis is so few when you're doing one-off jobs like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're talking July 2014.
Yeah, 2014, a year ago. And so we get to November, and we had a real estate client we liked. We liked building their website. There was a challenge there because real estate agents need listings and IDX on their site. So it's something that was slightly outside of the typical do-it-yourselfer category for an agent. So we started just doing real estate marketing tips and started specializing in real estate because we saw there were a lot of companies selling websites specifically to real estate agents, and none of them were that good.
Okay, so there were other people doing this.
Exactly. And so we started the blog in November just to give tips. We weren't even at that point sure we were going to sell websites. We thought maybe we could just be an affiliate for a website company.
And this is EasyAgentPro.com?
Yeah, I think our first blog, it's actually still up there. Like if your readers or listeners are thinking of starting a blog and are afraid of getting started because they think it'll look bad or something, go to Easy Agent Pro, go to the blog, scroll to the bottom, and go to the last page, and you'll see how bad our first blog posts were. I really encourage your readers to go do that because they're terrible, and that's why we leave them up, just to remember how bad it was when we started. But anyway, yeah, we started giving free content in November, attracted a small base of agents, and then thought we were being smart to try to sell a course because of this whole passive income, and thought an online course would be the way to go with that. So then we tried to do a course launch. And,
well, tell me before that. Tell me about the content, because you kind of are being you're being very modest in saying the content sucked, but you had some early hits that went pretty viral.
Yeah, we did. So, if you go look at the first couple of pieces of content, you can see that we were really struggling to find our way. And one of the tips I could really give someone starting out in this is to A, just publish and like stick to publishing and publish a lot. And then B is to like do something that is ridiculous. So one of our first pieces of content that went rather viral, and by viral I mean 5,000 shares, which is a lot. In like,
yeah, no kidding. That's probably more than anything I've ever written.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of a lot. And so the first piece of content that really ever did that was 200 real estate marketing ideas. And like, to be completely honest with you, I can remember where I was when I wrote that. Like, I was sitting at my kitchen table just after dinner trying to pound out the last like 50 of them. I'm like, oh, this, and in my head I'm thinking, oh, this is going to suck. No one's going to share this. No one's going to read this. No one's going to download our lead magnet on this. Like, all those negative thoughts that like every entrepreneur has ever heard was going through my head. And to this date, I think that one is like our second most shared article on the site, and it's over 4,000 or 5,000 shares on it. And if I go look at the like number of opt-ins on our lead box magnet there, I think we got over like 2,000 email subscribers just
from that one post.
Yeah, from that one post. And so like, you know, if we never had started, or if I never would have like finished that night publishing that post, like none of that would have happened, and we wouldn't have had any opportunities to like really explore monetizing our audience.
You're already giving away 200 marketing ideas. What's the lead magnet on that page?
It was just a download, quick and dirty download of like of them in a PDF. Like we started really simple. Like, do you want to download this and save it for later? And agents love that stuff. They love the idea of having a just PDF in their hands that said it.
All right, got to interject with a couple points here to reiterate. If you can create the most epic guide, especially for marketing, if you want to target a specific industry or group, if you can create the most epic guide to serve that group like Tyler did with 200 real estate marketing tips, there's no way that's not going to get attention. That's a great way to go. And the second point, to creating a PDF guide, just to let people download a PDF version of that post. It's going to convert like crazy. He said he's gotten over 2,000 opt-ins from that one offer. I can attest. I've tested something similar on Side Hustle Nation, generated more than 800 opt-ins just by offering a PDF guide of that post. So a couple quick tips as we get more into it.
Like, I can give you my play-by-play. You copy the article, you paste it in a Google Doc, you trim out all the fat, all the images, all the links, and just turn it into like just a nice ebook. And I usually take the first page of that and put a big image on there so it looks, you know, like something, if you printed it out, it'd be nice. Mm-hmm. But then you just click save, or you can, if you have a Mac, you can just do print and save as a PDF. And there you go. I mean, you upload it to, I use Lead Pages. I know there are a lot of other companies that let you do this, but I use Lead Pages, just toss it up there and copy paste the lead magnet on the site. And it probably takes 5 minutes. And it's been ridiculously effective for us.
So 200 real estate marketing ideas. What was the other one that was really, really popular?
And the funny part is most of this happens on Pinterest. So like, I don't know what your take is on Pinterest.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I would recommend you, all your all your listeners, hop on Pinterest. It drives more traffic to our site than all other social networks combined.
Oh, man.
Yeah, everyone there is just looking for how-to tips. So this one got around 6,000 shares on Pinterest. It was 53 lead generation ideas that were focused very heavily on lead generation instead of marketing, like actionable. And I think the thing that made it tick was that I didn't just say, oh, what's a lead? Like cold call someone. Like that's not, but like go to, you know, Zillow and look at the make me move category where people have listed, you know, if you offer me this, I'll move out of my house, and like cold call those people. So that's something that's a little bit more actionable. Mm-hmm. So it's just 53, a little bit more than everyone else was doing, actionable tips. And seriously, like people just love it because it provides value, because, you know, everyone, like we as bloggers, as internet marketers, like stare at the white screen of death all the time.
Not having a background in real estate, how did you come up with this stuff?
It's really just looking for, and this is why my music background probably helps me, because like you're staring at, you know, the same notes for Mozart's clarinet concerto that everyone has always stared at, every high schooler, every college student, every professional. But like, how can you make that a little different? And it's the same things across every industry. Everyone needs leads. Everyone needs to convert those leads, and everyone needs to re-engage those leads to get more clients, right? They're like the core elements of every business are the same. And so if you can find your outside perspective, and everyone listening to this is probably pretty familiar with internet marketing or maybe side hustle, and then pair that with something you're not familiar with. So mine would be, I'm really good at internet marketing, but I don't know much about real estate. And so my competitive advantage actually ends up being the fact that I don't know all this about real estate, so I don't know how hard it is, right? Because once you know how hard it is, you're instantly like, oh, that won't work, that won't work, that won't work. But when you're just getting, into it, and when you have that outsider's perspective, you're able to create these ideas that are slightly outside the box or in the box, but slightly different and packaged differently. And so through niching down in whatever you're good at, through picking like a niche that's slightly tangential to that, you're able to actually create an immense amount of value.
Did you give them an initial boost to get this sharing started? My fear is like, hey, I'm going to take the time to, create 200 real estate marketing ideas, and that could take days to write and research. And then it lands with a thud because it's a brand new site and nobody knows you exist.
Right. Yeah. And that's where I really think you have to focus on other people. And so for me, it's rather easy. And I think this is something that works in almost any industry. But for me, I need to find realtors to visit my site, right? That's goal number one. And so who do realtors know? Well, they know other realtors because they just do, like they're in the same brokerage as them. Keller Williams' office has like 200 to 500 agents in it. Like realtors just know other agents. So if I link to a prominent realtor site, or if I link to let's say someone like Riz Media, who's a big industry expert who's been publishing stuff in the real estate niche, I can then reach out to them on Twitter, reach out to them on email and say, hey, I linked to you. And that's giving them something of value. And then what I find is that if I link to these people, they'll then share my stuff. They'll then link to it on their own website, and it's great first introduction. Like everyone always talks about backlinking and like doing cold emails and getting like a 10% conversion or whatever, and that's fine. But what I've found really useful is to just backlink to the people I want to backlink to me first, and then they'll eventually get the idea that I'm in it, for the long haul. And then even to this day, like how we're able to maintain shares on our stuff and people coming to our site is just by not trying to be the source, but giving it all away, and then somehow you end up with everyone coming back to you. So that's how we did it. And then of course, like in terms of what we share internally, we posted on Pinterest. We posted on Pinterest group boards. There are a bunch of group boards where agents are just constantly pinning tips and tricks for agents. So we get a ton of traffic from there and a ton of reshares from there. There are actually Facebook groups with a ton of real estate agents in it. And honestly, there are Facebook groups for anything. And yeah, of course, if you take your link and go like copy paste it in there and don't write a comment, never have commented there before, that's spam. But if you comment on a few things and then paste your link and just ask a question, like 9 times out of 10 you're already better than the other content in there, thus you're not spam.
Yeah.
So that's another way. And then the same on LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn has groups and no one's posting in them. So if you're able to go there and provide value and start a conversation, that's just going to work.
Yeah, this is such a powerful content creation strategy. My buddy Mike Koala has done this expertly for years, and he specifically uses Help a Reporter to do this, where he'll reach out with a question, hey, how do you use Twitter to grow your small business, right? And then, he'll get 17 responses, and he'll include all of those in his blog post, and it's 17 experts on how to use Twitter to grow your small business. And of course, this post created itself. Like he's got to do the formatting and stuff. He didn't have to write, this 2,000 word epic post that's going to be really valuable to people. Like it was written for him, was crowdsourced. And of course, now he's got 17 people to reach out to say, hey, I just featured you in this post. It links to your site. Would you mind sharing it around? And his other hack was, hey, did you know you can include this now in your published articles on your LinkedIn profile? And so it's like, now I'm getting all this traffic, all these posts like from LinkedIn. He kind of like includes a little, step-by-step on how to do that, how to add it to your profile. It's especially valuable for a real estate agent, something like a professional kind of industry association like that. It'd be really cool. So you're building the audience through this content marketing. I think that's really good, but still no monetization at this point. And you mentioned, hey, we're trying to build a course. Maybe we can build the definitive what was the first course idea?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we listened to a podcast that like was all about how to build your course, and just got drunk on the idea of doing it. And so we didn't validate it. We didn't try to sell it. We were like really just like, oh man, people love what we're doing. They'll love our course. And so we made this course, like I forget how many hours of video, like 16 maybe, and then made the landing page and installed all the plugins, and it was all ready to go. Wrote the launch sequence. I think we copied like, what's that, Jeff Walker, who has some sort of launch sequence. And like went through it, and we had, you know, people on the list, and it was in December where we did that. And like we literally didn't sell a single course. Like complete failure to even like just remotely move one of these items. And looking back on it, there's so many lessons learned. Like, you know, agents probably don't want tips on how to do more work. They want someone to do it for them. You know, we're publishing all this content about, you know, getting leads, and meanwhile we're getting questions via our contact form. We don't even have ads up on the site for websites, but we're getting questions through our contact forms asking us if we can make websites. And like we completely ignored all of that stuff and went full force into this course. And it was one of the best failures in my life, just to really see that, you know, like, hey, it doesn't matter if you have an audience or not. You know, you still, like, they're not going to buy something just because they read your blog or they're on your email list. You have to really give them something that they want, and then give them, you know, deliver on that promise to have a successful business.
Yeah, that's kind of that's a very spectacular failure, but kind of a surprising one. It's like, hey, if they've opted in to learn about, you know, how to grow their real estate business, and then you have an offering that, you know, promises that seems like that would be a fit. But even in this case, it turned out not to be. And sorry that you had to go through the hours and hours of creating the videos and the launch sequence and everything. But in the meantime, people were kind of telling you what they did want.
That course could be successful if we would have packaged it differently, if it spoke directly to their needs and wants rather than speaking to, you know, my needs and wants as it interpreted through not even talking to these people.
Okay.
And so like you really just have to, like, you have people to talk to at that point. So go talk to them and figure out what they're struggling with, because, you know, as agents, they're already getting training on a weekly, monthly basis through their broker already. And so like more training just turned out to be pretty appetizing to some of them, because they're like, oh, another thing I have to learn and then implement in my business. Is just like, it was too much stress.
Okay.
Is we sort of boiled down to.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea. I know David Siteman Garland talks about, you know, surveying your audience, even if you have 5 people, you know, asking them, you know, what they'd like to learn from you. Yeah. And in this case, hey, nothing. I'm already getting the training.
They'll tell you, like go, I mean, even like go to Google Keyword Planner and type in real estate websites, and then type in like real estate courses, and like the difference in search volume is ridiculous. It's like they're I think somewhere like 10x more searches for real estate websites than real estate courses. And like even that is people telling you what they want. Like, they're not all going to buy in both those categories, but there's that interest there. There's that like initial interest in the topic matter.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So people were asking, hey, can you build a website for us? Or, you know, we like the design of your site. Where did they even get this idea from?
I really don't know. I mean, like, I think the overarching topic was content marketing and blending new age marketing and lead gen tips with old age ones. So they just naturally assume that if we're putting this stuff out there, that we're probably selling a product that helps them do that. And to all of them, it was just a website. Okay. Like that was their thinking as we went along. And, you know, to me, that doesn't make sense, but that's just like, people think differently when they're in different, you know, walks of life niches. Like, I'm not a real estate agent. And so that was sort of my blind side when developing this type of a product for these people. And so you've got to always be cognizant of that blind side. Otherwise, you'll assume that because you like it, they will. And the fact is that what you like, you know, most people don't. It's just, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to.
So people were asking you to build a website, and eventually you were like, okay, well, yeah, we can build you a website.
Yeah, so we like failed. I think we had done everything. Like, we did a webinar, we did a failed email launch, and no one bought. And that was right before Christmas. And so we took some time to reflect. And in January, we're like, well, I guess we're going to try to sell websites. And up until that point, we were like really disenchanted with the idea. Like, do you, Nick, want to like sell, let's say, 20 websites a month and then make it? Like, probably not. That's a ton of work, right?
Yeah.
There's support requests. There's like, oh my gosh, who's going to make those? Who's going to sell those? Who's going to, like, all this stuff. And
yeah, doing the courses is a much sexier thing, because it's like, okay, I can build it once and sell it over and over again, instead of like, okay, now I got to do actual work, customized each time.
Yeah, and so we were like, okay, well, what if we sort of found this whole thing about productization, and so we developed a platform. But before we even did that, we learned from our failure, and we contacted, I think it was 5 of the people or 10 of the people. No, it was 5. I called 5 of the people who like emailed in about a website, and I sold one. Like, we made money. I think it was something really just ridiculously low price, like $500, and they had to sign up through hosting and stuff through our affiliate links. So we like made $600, but that's like more money than we had ever seen through all this coursework in December, stuff going on. But what we were then able to do is we were able to come up with like a stock template, and we're able to productize our service in a way that's like really, really repeatable. Now we can hire someone, like if you need a WordPress designer, you can it's really easy to find them these days, just everyone knows it. And you're able to create a system for them to follow. Now you're able to then, turn that website arduous process into something that, do you want to buy our template, or do you want to pay us a lot more to develop something custom? And when you have that either or statement, and there are a lot more things you can do with that, you get people opting for that productized service because it suits most people, the best. And it just eliminated the support requests. It eliminated, the time to launch, the time of development, and it made the sales easier. And it was something that everyone was interested in. So it was like this alignment of the stars that just ended up being great for us.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a huge selling point. Like, look, it's already a proven converter. It's already built. It works. It's already going to be, SEO optimized for you, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Like, we can get this done for you. And there's a nice way to scale that up. It's similar to the kind of the hustler's path that we've seen. Hey, starting out, like you said, on the freelance route, and then one person happened to be a real estate agent. Hey, we like this market, and then figuring out a way to productize that. I really like that. Do you still do the custom jobs at different price points?
Yeah, we definitely do. Our current pricing model is, we've shifted. I guess one question you asked me in email is like number one tip for Side Hustle Nation, in like focus on recurring revenue as soon as possible. We did not do that at all. And so like our pricing point right now is like, we have our entry price, and then we have a semi-custom where we'll do a custom homepage, and the rest of it's our lead sites package. And then we have our full customs, which are actually built on lead sites. So what we've actually done since January is we've actually turned WordPress into something we call lead sites, and it focuses on, it has landing pages for agents built in. It has SEO optimized pages. It has a custom backend that isn't as intimidating. It has all of these custom pop-ups and slide-ins and all the goodness we're seeing from people like Bowden's Exchange, SumoMe, Neil Patel's Hello Bar Company. We built those custom for agents so that they're specific for real estate agents, so that there's a selling point to buy our site. And then it's a platform, so then you can build everything from just your stock sort of productized service all the way up to the custom things all on your platform. And it was a really cool turn of events that took us to where we are now from that point in January.
So there's the recurring element is kind of like a maintenance package, or like kind of the software package?
Yeah, so since we built the platform, there's room to, we do their hosting, we do their IDX, which for those of you that don't, I didn't know when I started, but it's the houses on their websites that requires a monthly fee paid to their MLS. And then it includes 1 hour of free support a month, and it includes just a lot of other things. Some packages include PPC management, other packages include our landing pages. But that recurring fee is so important, and we totally, like, we do everything wrong the first time, and that's one thing
of course.
we did wrong. Was like, it just went, it's like going elephant hunting. You want the big thing every single month, and then all of a sudden you have a bad month, and it's just like starting over. But if you have that recurring revenue and provide value through your service that matches the amount you're charging for that recurring revenue, it's something that creates this really stable and cool business that's not all that different passively than selling a course.
Right. It's become productized, and you've got enough margin built in where you're not the one who has to be delivering the work all day, every day. You've got other people on your team to help do that.
Yeah, correct. We have salespeople, and we have people who actually make the product, and then we have research and development who develop cool new tools to make the Lead Sites platform even better.
Yeah, really cool. It's kind of like Bjork and Lindsay from Pinch of Yum, and how like people kept asking them like, hey, how do we build it's a food blog, right?
Yep.
And they're selling recipes and stuff. But a ton of people kept asking them, hey, we'd love to start a food blog too. You guys seem to be doing quite well with that. And so then they started the Food Blogger Pro kind of membership and course material and stuff like that, listening to what your audience wants. I love it. I actually heard John Lee Dumas speak on this topic earlier this year, and he's like, look, this is not rocket science. Of course, in his business, like the audience numbers are big enough where the dollar numbers are big enough. He's like, hey, look, people told me they wanted community, so I gave them Fire Nation Elite. People told me, they said, hey, John, it looks like you've had quite a bit of success starting a podcast. We'd love to learn how to start a podcast. So I gave them Podcaster's Paradise. People said, hey, John, it looks like you sold the crap out of Podcaster's Paradise on webinars. We'd love to learn how to do webinars. So I gave them Webinar on Fire. It's just like step by step by step. And, when the audience numbers are big enough, as they are in his case, as they are in your case, it tends to build a pretty nice business. Yeah,
and I think one thing is to start simple. Like you heard that when we were talking about starting with content marketing, like just publish it, even if you think it's completely terrible, because a lot of other people won't think it is. But when we first started selling websites, we didn't go out and get a hosting plan and then put all people on our hosting plan, because we didn't know how to do that. So we just had them sign up for hosting through our affiliate link. Now we sell hosting. Same thing with SEO. Like we didn't want to do SEO for a bunch of people. We didn't know how to scale that, so we referred it out for an affiliate fee. That's something where you can listen to what they're saying, and you can start now. You can almost start anything now, like today, if you really want to. Just start it simple, though. Don't try to come up with the best PPC program. Refer it out until you've developed the best PPC program, and then switch to your own program. We're really fortunate to be at a good time where you can actually start businesses this way online, where you can build communities, listen to what they want, and then develop your product around them to suit them.
Yeah, I love it. Tyler, thanks so much for joining me. Check him out at EasyAgentPro.com. I know we normally wrap things up with your number one tip for Side Hustle Nation, but we jumped the gun on that one a little bit. Focus on recurring revenue. Any parting piece of guidance for the Side Hustle Nation listeners?
Just start today. Like you're not going to be able to find that golden opportunity until you're out there doing something. You'll probably bump into it when you're out there doing something. So just start today so you can find it.
I love it. Thanks so much, man. We'll catch up with you soon.
Sounds good, Nick. Have a good one.
This edition of the Side Hustle Show is brought to you by Lead Pages. Now, you heard Tyler mention using Lead Pages and Lead Boxes to deliver his topic-specific lead magnets, which may just be a PDF copy of the post that you've got on your site. And I know. This is like the last thing I wanted. Was another monthly subscription commitment, but the results of buying this software have converted me from a hesitant buyer into an evangelist. Lead Pages just makes my life a whole lot easier with their email capture forms, their file delivery, the pre-made website templates, all the stuff. It's helped drive some awesome results that have paid for itself many times over. So when you're ready to make the investment, tell you what, use my affiliate link, sidehustlenation.com/leadpages, forward me your receipt, and I'll shoot over a copy of the exact step-by-step process I use the software for. Sound good? sidehustlenation.com/leadpages. Now, I like this episode with Tyler because what he puts forth is a repeatable process. Like, learn a skill or practice one you've already got, focus on a particular niche or industry to serve, create killer content for that industry, find out what they need help with, and then sell it to them. And then find a way to scale it. Like, it just just made a lot of sense to me. So all the notes and links at sidehustlenation.com/134. While you're over there, be sure to grab the free PDF download with all the highlights and Tyler's top tips for growing a blog and turning it into an awesome business. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, let's go out there, make something happen, and I'll see you in the next edition of the Side Hustle Show. Next week, we've got the one and only Brian Clark from copyblogger.com, so you won't want to miss it. Hustle on.
Thanks for listening to the Side Hustle Show at www.sidehustlenation.com.